Hello everyone. This week we are going to focus on Chapter 6, Creating Offerings. Some of the learning objectives of the chapter are: number 1, distinguish between the three major components of an offering: product, price, and service. Explain from both a product-dominant and a service-dominant approach the mix of components that comprise different types of offerings. Distinguish between product platforms and product lines. Number 2, define the various types of offerings marketed to individual consumers. Explain why a single offering might be marketed differently to different types of consumers. Number 3, define the various types of offerings marketed to businesses. Identify some of the differences with regard to how the various types of business offerings are marketed. Understand the branding decisions firms make when they're developing new products. Identify the various levels of packaging for new products. And number 5, understand the people involved in creating and managing offerings. Recognize the differences in organizing product marketing for consumer versus B2B companies. Let's look at what composes an offering. The three major components of an offering, product, price, and service, are discussed in terms of the product dominant and service dominant approaches. The difference between product platforms and product lines is also covered. Offerings are products and services designed to deliver value to customers, either to fulfill their needs, satisfy their wants, or both. Let's look at product, price, and service. Most offerings have tangible and intangible components. Product is a tangible good. Price is the initial amount paid to receive the offering's benefits. Total cost of ownership, or TCO, is the total amount someone pays to own, use, and eventually dispose of a product. Service can be an action without any tangible characteristics associated with them or some tangible component to a good. At times, people use the term product to mean an offering that is either tangible or intangible. The intangibility of a service makes for interesting challenges for marketers and for buyers when they try to judge the relative merits of one service over another. Services usually also require the consumer to be physically present or involved. Another challenge for many service providers is that services are perishable. They cannot be stored. Let's look at the two approaches: the product dominant approach to marketing and the service dominant approach to marketing. The product dominant approach to marketing is characterized by the following major features. Number 1, focuses on the good rather than the service or price components of the offering. The approach has its roots in the Industrial Revolution, when firms were product-oriented, meaning that they believed that the best way to capture market share was to create and manufacture better products at lower prices. Taking the product-oriented approach means that marketing professionals may focus too much on the product itself and not enough on the customer or service-related factors they want. Let's move over to the service-dominant approach to marketing. This approach integrates the product, price, and service dimensions of an offering. Most customers compare tangible products and the prices charged for them in conjunction with the services that come with them. Critics argue that the product-dominant approach also integrated services, though not price, the argument being at the core of an offering is that the product. Let's look at product levels and product lines. A product technology platform is the core technology upon it is built. Example is an iPod or MP3 technology. The development of a new offering is to take a technology platform and rebundle its benefits in order to create a different version of an already existing offering. Examples are Apple iPod Shuffle and Nano. In some cases, technology platforms developed for one industry or group may ultimately lead to the creation of new types of offerings. Example is Equus Microtech Pet Spray, originally a NASA decontamination product, now used to stop pets from scratching and biting themselves. In a pure services environment, knowledge can be a type of technology platform. Product lines are groups of related offerings with similar marketing strategies. Product lines can be comprised of many offerings or new offerings. How many offerings there are in a single product line is called line depth. So line depth is how many different or distinct product lines a company has. There are four levels of an offering. Basic offering, device itself, offerings technology platform, the product line to which the product belongs, the product category to which the offering belongs. For example, if we look at the iPod, we know that the basic offering is the iPod. Number two, technology platform is the MP3 player technology. Number three, product line. We can look at Apple iPod's line of MP3 music players, and product four, or product category, is MP3 players as opposed to iPhones. Let's look at the different consumer offerings. The consumer offerings fall into four general categories: convenience offerings, shopping offerings, unsought, and specialty offerings. So convenience offerings are really products and services consumers generally do not want to put much effort into shopping for because they see little difference between competing brands. Marketing strategy may be limited to simply trying to get the product in as many places as possible where a purchase may occur. Impulse offerings are most closely related to convenience offerings, with lifesavers as the classic example of an impulse buy. Shopping offerings. These are offerings for which the consumer will make an effort to compare and select a brand. Consumer believes there are differences between shopping offerings and want to find the right one and or the best price. They will visit multiple retail locations or spend a considerable amount of time visiting websites and reading reviews about the product, such as reviews found in consumer reports. Consumers tend to be more brand conscious with shopping offerings. The third category of offerings are called specialty offerings. These are highly differentiated offerings, and the brands under which they are marketed are very different across companies. Marketing specialty offerings requires building brand name recognition in the minds of consumers and educating them about products' key differences. Examples are exotic perfumes, custom-made motorcycles, fashion goods, etc. What might be a specialty offering to one consumer may be a convenience offering to another. The last category of offerings are called unsought offerings. These are offerings that buyers do not generally shop for until they need them. Examples include funeral home, towing, and locksmith services. It's very difficult to market these products. Some organizations try pre-selling emphasizing cost savings. Others try to create strong name awareness so that when the need for the product arises, their name will come to the mind of the consumer. Next, we are going to examine different business-to-business offerings or types of business-to-business offerings. Business-to-business offerings are categorized based on how they're used by the purchaser. We have several types. Capital equipment offerings. Number two, raw materials offerings, OEM offerings, MRO offerings, and facilitating offerings. Capital equipment offering is any equipment purchased and used for more than 1 year and depreciated over its useful life. Marketing is usually done directly with companies since the purchasing decision can be complex and involve many different departments. Raw material offerings are materials firms offer other firms so they can make a product or provide a service. Examples include lumber, metals, and manufactured materials such as steel. Raw materials are viewed as commodities, so the main beating factor among suppliers is price. OEM offerings or components. These are components or parts sold by one manufacturer to another that get built into a final product without further modification. One example is tires for cars. MRO, or maintenance, repair, and operations offerings, refer to products and services used to keep a company functioning. Facilitating offerings include products and services that support a company's operations but are not part of the final product it sells. Examples include marketing research services, banking and transportation services, and copiers and computers. Next, we are going to look at branding, labeling, and packaging and the decisions companies make when they're developing new products. A brand, this is a name, picture, design, or symbol, or combination of those items used by a seller to identify its offerings and to differentiate them from competitors' offerings. Branding is the set of activities designed to create a brand and position it in the minds of consumers. Brand name is the spoken part of the brand's identity. Brand mark is the symbol associated with the brand. Brand extension involves utilizing an existing brand name or brand mark for a new product category. Cannibalization occurs when a firm's new offering eats into the sales of one of its older offerings. Packaging decisions are related to trying to communicate the brand and its benefits, protecting the product from damage and contamination during shipment, as well as damage and tampering once it's in retail outlets, preventing leakage of the contents, presenting government-required warning and information labels. We're going to look at several types of packaging: primary packaging, secondary, and tertiary packaging. Primary packaging holds a single retail unit of the product and may be used to protect and promote products and get attention of consumers. Demonstrate the proper use of the offering, provide instructions on how to assemble the product or any other needed information. Display warning on nutritional labels is required. Primary packaging can be bundled together. Secondary packaging holds a single wholesale unit of the product. Tertiary packaging is packaging designed specifically for shipping and efficiently handling large quantities. Examples include pallets of goods wrapped in plastic. Next, we are going to look at how to manage an offering. The product management positions are the following. Brand manager is the person who is responsible for all business decisions regarding offerings within one brand. Product manager is someone with business responsibility for a particular product, a product line. Category manager has responsibility for business decisions within a broad groupings of offerings. How do brand managers differ from category managers? Whereas brand managers handle one brand, category managers often handle multiple brands within a broad group of offerings. A brand manager often reports to a category manager. A market manager is responsible for business decisions within a market. How do we answer the question? Which type of manager has the most marketing responsibility? We can conclude that the category manager is usually the manager with the most responsibility because he or she is managing a broad group of offerings. Also, we need to mention that some companies have market managers but no brand managers. Instead, a vice president of marketing or other executives is responsible for the brands. This concludes our chapter on creating offerings. I hope you enjoyed it and I wish you good luck with the rest of the semester.